Now at 5:30, a deadly train crash waylays Republican congressional members on their way to a retreat. We'll have the very latest on the crash from Crozet and reaction from lawmakers at the Greenbrier.
New developments tonight into the Las Vegas shooting investigation after a newspaper reveals the name of the second person of interest named in that case. What we know about the man interviewed by federal officials following the massacre.
And again tonight, one person is dead, another in critical condition. 5 others are hurt after that train carrying lawmakers smashed into a truck. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm John Carlin.
And I'm Lindsay Ward. One day after the president delivered his State of the Union address, GOP lawmakers boarded a train bound for an annual conference at the Greenbrier in West Virginia. We have Brittany McGraw standing by live there with the latest reaction from lawmakers.
But before we send things over to her, Mary Maloney brings us the very latest from the scene of the crash in Crozet.
Crash on the tracks. A train carrying dozens of Republican members of Congress hit a dump truck.
We were moving at a pretty rapid pace, and it didn't seem that there was any time for the train to slow down at all. I didn't feel any slowing before the impact.
Several legislators with medical training helped the injured and performed CPR. The president confirmed the driver of the truck was killed.
We don't have a full understanding yet as to what happened, but it was a train hitting a truck going at a pretty good speed, and we'll have a full report as to what. It looks like the driver of the truck was killed. And it's very sad to see that.
The train was taking members of the GOP to their legislative retreat in West Virginia. Among those on board, Speaker Paul Ryan, who tweeted, "We are grateful for the first responders who rushed to the scene, and we pray for the victims and their families. May they all be in our thoughts right now."
It was a pretty rough hit. That's what they all tell me. I spoke to a few of the folks, and they say it was tough.
As the National Transportation Safety Board investigates the deadly crash, the legislators boarded buses and continued on to the conference.
The train accident was a tough one, a tremendous jolt, and they're proceeding to their conference.
I'm Mary Maloney reporting.
And again, that train was headed to the Greenbrier Resort in White Sulphur Springs for a GOP resort or retreat set to start today.
And that's where we find 10 News anchor Brittany McGraw. She's live with reaction from lawmakers. Brittany?
That train would have arrived about a half mile from where we're at right now, but we do want to zoom in and show you where a lot of the activities for this week's retreat are happening, including a visit from Vice President Pence and the president himself. We also want to share with you this video that we got of the train depot, which is right across from one of the resort's entrances where the train involved in this morning's crash would have arrived. Legislators, their family members, and legislative aides were all on that train, and they immediately started posting on social media about what happened. Here are some of those tweets that we want to share with you right now. Representative Jeff Denham of California tweeted out this picture of the front of that train. Congressman Jeff Fortenberry out of Nebraska tweeted, "Here was my view from the train. The garbage truck torn in two, just an awful heavy feeling when thinking of the driver." And Representative Rick Crawford out of Arkansas gave a special thanks to the first responders for their professionalism. We also had an opportunity to talk with Representative Bob Goodlatte from our area. He actually drove here for the retreat, but he instantly heard about what happened with his colleagues. Ahead at 6, we're going to hear from him about his thoughts about what happened and also his thoughts on train safety in the wake of today's accident. Reporting live in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, I'm Brittany McGraw, 10 News, working for you.
We'll continue to follow this story throughout our 90 minutes of news, but when we're not on the air, you can download the 10 News app and follow updates on Facebook and Twitter. You can also head to our website at WSLS.com for the very latest.
And people in our area are reacting to President Trump's strong words on immigration in his State of the Union address last night. He devoted more time in his speech to the issue than any other topic. 10 News reporter Jessica Jewell spoke with a local immigration attorney about her thoughts moving forward.
In President Trump's first State of the Union address, he called on lawmakers to compromise on immigration while once again pushing for a border wall and ending the visa lottery and family-based migration.
Under the current broken system, a single immigrant can bring in virtually unlimited numbers of distant relatives.
But local immigration attorney Christine Porch says that's not true.
U.S. citizens can only petition for their spouses, their children, their siblings, and their parents.
Porch says she is glad President Trump called on lawmakers to include a path to citizenship for the 1.8 million dreamers who were brought to the U.S. illegally by their parents. 10 News watched the State of the Union with some of those dreamers last night.
We're really hoping for some form of security. You know, we've been hearing this, we've been hearing that, and we're not really certain what's going to happen to us.
Porch says the future of immigration as a whole remains uncertain.
It was incredibly divisive and to a great extent misleading. I think it furthers the idea that there is a full assault on lawful immigration, that it was never about unlawful or undocumented immigration to begin with.
Yet she's hopeful lawmakers can compromise on a plan to improve the system without creating too many restraints.
Most American people want a reasonable, lawful immigration system. And certainly that is not what the immigration system is right now, and that is not what has been promised thus far in proposed legislation.
Jessica Jewell, 10 News, working for you.
Switching gears now, sun, snow, rain, we have seen it all, and the mixed bag of good, well, it's set to continue. Storm Team 10 Chief Meteorologist Jeff Hanowich joins us now with a check of the forecast. So what's it going to be, Jeff? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo?
Yeah, how about all three?
Yeah.
Let's go on over and show you what it looks like here. We have seen our fair share of sunshine today. We have a little more cloud cover up in areas north and west of us. Therefore, I'm looking at skies turning partly cloudy as we head into the overnight tonight. Skies right now, for the most part, mainly sunny. Down to 33 in Hot Springs, 47 in Wytheville, 44 Smith Mountain Lake, also in Danville and South Boston. On Thursday, temperatures start out in the upper 20s and lower 30s, upper 40s by 11, reaching 52 by 2, and then temperatures fall into the mid to upper 40s by 5. After about 4 or 5 o'clock tomorrow, we'll have the chance for some isolated rain showers, and then in the mountains tomorrow night, those rain showers will change over to snow showers. We'll go over accumulations or lack thereof with this next storm system coming up in just a little bit. John.
Thank you, Jeff. Las Vegas newspapers identifying the second person of interest in relation to the mass shooting in October. In the early days of the investigation, 2 people were named as persons of interest in the case, according to the newly released search warrants. One was the deceased shooter, Stephen Paddock's girlfriend, Mary Lou Danley. She has since been publicly cleared. The name of the other was redacted by court officials when the records were unsealed, since the investigation is ongoing. But that person, Douglas Haig, has been identified by the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Haig said that he was interviewed by agents from the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives shortly after the shooting. And while it's still unclear exactly why he was named, Haig spoke to reporters outside his Arizona home yesterday.
You were contacted by the officials investigating?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm the guy that sold ammunition to Stephen Paddock.
Haig has not been charged, but the federal investigation is ongoing.
Still ahead at 5:30, a whirlwind of winter weather, and it's only going to continue. Storm Team 10 has been tracking it all. We'll have a tracking of it all after the break as Chief Meteorologist Jeff Hanowich joins us with a look at what you can expect.
In the meantime, here's a look at